Hey, everybody. Welcome back to School Sucks Live. This is Brett in the studio with me tonight. Cory and Osborne. Our technical difficulties are sorted out, and we're ready to go.
Yes.
That was Poison. No, that was Motley Crue.
Nice. I am enjoying the new music. It doesn't make me fall asleep like the old music.
Yeah, we're really going to rock with our new music.
Well, we are going to rock.
A lot of 80s stuff. A lot of Zeppelin, a lot of rocking.
Nice.
All right, so I was trying to tell a story about this Lifetime movie that I saw that ruined my day. It made me very sad. I ultimately had to turn it off. It's the story of an abusive husband. The protagonist is a woman. Her name is Nadine. Her husband's name is Artemis Crabtree. Nadine's sister, Billie Jean, is kind of a supporting character in the story. So sad. Nadine...
Now, who played these characters in this movie?
Lifetime TV movie actors. I don't know. I didn't recognize one of
those. So Meredith Baxter Burney.
The sister Billie Jean was not Meredith Baxter Burney, but Tina Yothers, another actress from Family Ties. How about that? Who's old now, so she's like a sister of a trailer park meth addict's wife, Artemis and Nadine. They are the couple. Artemis is the abuser. He is the worst. He's absolutely terrible. He takes money out of her purse. He abuses her physically. He yells at her. He manipulates her. He lies to her. And it's just this cycle over and over and over and over again.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it's really tough.
Poor Nadine.
So what happens is, eventually, this is where I shut it off. She goes to her sister. Or her sister comes to her, Billie Jean Crabtree. No, wait, her sister wouldn't be named Crabtree. Billie Jean, her sister, goes to Nadine Crabtree, Artemis's wife. And she says, "You got to leave him, Nadine. You got to get away from him. Don't you understand? He's just an abuser. He's just going to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again." And Billie Jean is right.
I feel like I'm watching the movie right now.
I know.
This is amazing.
Yeah, my description, is that good?
And the accent.
Yeah, because
spot on.
She just goes back and Artemis says, "Baby, I need you. I can't do anything without you. Just give me another chance and we'll move forward into the future together. But I need you to do it. I need your help." Right? And she goes back. Same pattern repeats. Takes money out of her purse, goes and buys meth for him and his friends. He's abusive, manipulative. He lies. He cheats. So finally, Billie Jean, the sister, says to her, you gotta get out. You look at what he's doing to you." And do you know what Nadine says?
No.
She says,
But I love him.
That's part of it.
Right.
But it was the saddest thing. She said, "No, Billie Jean. I should know better than to pester him when he's on meth." It wasn't like she was taking blame. It was like she was trying to take control. You know what I mean? Like, it was easier for her to, instead of saying, "Wow, look at what I am stuck in."
Right.
To create this illusion that she was actually participating in her own abuse.
So she had to create this illusion that if she behaved differently, the outcome would be different.
Yeah. Really sad. That reminds me, everyone, don't forget to vote this Tuesday for politicians. What do? You go to your town hall?
Or a school or something, as I understand it.
Yeah, that way you can have that same, you can do that same play of, having control over abuser without even getting into a relationship with a meth addict and living in a trailer in Oklahoma.
But now you've just got the idea in my head that I want to produce this Lifetime movie as a stage play.
Yeah,
I think it would be a big hit
with squirrels.
Yeah, we do things with squirrels when we can. There are limitations, but when you can, I say theatrically work with squirrels.
Yeah.
So yeah, but this kind of gets us into our topic a little bit tonight. Now that was a gag. I didn't watch Lifetime television. I haven't turned on a television in I don't even know how long.
But I do think we should make this movie now.
Yeah, I think this is a great idea. I think Lifetime would buy it right up. But it is that time. I mean, the election is Tuesday.
Right.
People are going to vote for these politicians.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think, I was really excited when Obama won in 2008. Because as I said, there is never, and Stefan Molyneux has said the same thing, there's never been a greater difference between any two presidents, from Bush at 43 to Obama at 44. Their background, their culture, their politics, everything is just as different as any two consecutive presidents ever was.
Right.
So
hilariously, there's never been a greater sameness in terms of the actions.
Well, that was
of
the
two presidents.
I think that was what a lot of libertarians said. They said, you will see, wait till everyone will now, they will learn that nothing changes. The greatest two difference in men ever, not just like different degrees of this guy can be in the Klan and this guy can be in the Klan and this guy's from a rich background and this guy's a lawyer. And, things that are generally true from one president to another, everything was different.
Right.
And all the most important things stayed the same, from my point of view anyway.
Yeah, no,
But-
I think that's actually objectively correct.
Not only are people saying, I got to vote. I mean, I realize there isn't too much of a difference, and we learned that with Obama, but they, in the mainstream media, are saying that this is the most important election ever.
Right.
Why?
Because every election is the most important.
Because the media has drawn such a line between these two people and accentuated all these little minimal differences when on everything that really matters, they're exactly the same.
Right.
And in fact, seeing how similar Obama has proven to be to Bush, I said, in a very derisive way, 2011, maybe I was on Free Talk Live, maybe it was on Wheels Off Liberty. I said, the only thing sillier, and certainly there's nicer ways to say this, the only thing sillier than being an Obama supporter now would be to be an Obama voter in 2012.
Right.
Gentlemen, I found something even sillier.
No.
I don't believe you.
This gets us into our topic. This is Bill Maher, host of Real Time with Bill Maher. He used to be host of Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher. He is a comedian / political commentator that a lot of people on the left take pretty seriously. I really used to enjoy his show. In the last few years, I've had some serious problems with it.
I can see that.
Here is the silliest. This is what Bill Maher did a few months back.
I would like to tonight announce a donation to the Obama Super PAC, which has the very unfortunate tongue twister name, Priority USA Action. I know, it was named by Borat. But tonight I would like to give that PAC $1 million. This is the wisest investment I think I could make on a selfish level. Because I'll tell you something, folks, who I know look at these Republican clowns and think it's in the bag. No, it's not. Obama could lose.
Well said by a smart man as well as a funny man. That's Bill Maher, the host of HBO's Real Time with Bill Maher, announcing that he's donated $1 million to President Obama's Super PAC, which has no relation, of course, to the president.
We'll pick it up right there in a minute.
Take control of your money today and do it with style. Young Austrians are right now fashioning the silver economy. Would you like to take part? You'll find all the tools you need at don'ttreadonmeme.com.
All right.
Don't Tread on Meme is the only place where you can get your hands on silver dime with the most unforgettable designs, like Clint Eastwood.
I'm just looking through the chat. Is anyone...
Enemy of the state.
Fact or Crap got cut off.
And the cover art of George
Fact or
Orwell's
Crap is back.
1984. Download the free Silver Calculator app from the iPhone or Android markets and get up-to-the-minute silver spot prices at your fingertips. And hey, we're all Austrians now, so why not express your passion for silver and
Fact or
provide
Crap?
some honest money?
Nintendo
Tread on Meme's clever
started
approach.
as a playing
Avoid
card
an
company.
empire of theft.
That is a
Buy
fact.
silver. Trade with value. Build
I
a
did not
society
know
of
that.
consent.
Fact or Crap,
Don't
chat.
tread on meme.com.
This is what we do. If you're new to our video show, this is what we do during the breaks from our being on the radio. We talk about facts or crap. We'll do other things during the break in the future, but this is what we've been doing the last week or so. We read you a statement, and then you decide whether it's fact or crap. One person says fact. Cory, you say fact?
Fact.
Osborne, you say fact?
Only because Cory seems so sure.
Fact. Nintendo dates back to 1889. Whoa. When a man named Fusajiro Yamuchi started a playing card company in Kyoto. His grandson, Hiroshi Yamuchi, I want to say Yamaguchi, like the figure skater, but it's Yamuchi, became president of the company in 1950 and renamed it Nintendo Playing Card Company Limited, 1951. The word Nintendo can be roughly translated as leave luck to heaven.
The people here are awesome, loving, and
in 1985, Nintendo introduced the Nintendo Entertainment System to America. It came with 3 games: Rob, Robotic Operating Buddy, Duck Hunt,
and Super Mario Bros.
Super Mario. You know, have you ever heard of the comedian Anthony Jeselnik?
No. That sounds like a made-up name.
Who's that woman?
Some random.
Hold on, let me put a camera on
hurting
you.
person.
Oh,
Man,
look how much he cares.
Oh, he cares so much.
I wonder
I'm
what
sure.
he's thinking in that photo. Like, wow, this lady smells.
Okay, take the picture. Hurry.
Okay, folks, I think we're coming back.
I think she's stabbing.
Good delivery method for our content. See our coverage map and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm.
I am Richard Grove of TragedyandHope.com.
Nope, not back. They should only use Zeus at the coming back.
Sticker.
In 2001, former New York
Someone
City
writes,
and State school
this
teacher
one's more
John
fun
Taylor
for
Gatto
school sucks, though.
published The Underground History of
Which,
American
what?
Education.
Oh, I can't imagine the ridiculous amount of money they're spending on all of these political ads. Hey, at the top, if people are getting ads, use Firefox plus AdBlock Plus, and you won't see any of Ustream's ads. We figured that out a couple of weeks ago.
Public schools are dumbing us down, and what we can do
I bet
about it.
Ustream doesn't like us telling people
More
that.
than 200 footnotes and
This is not the
30
show. Someone says this is what my monthly donations goes to.
weeks after
What does that mean?
this interview, and he's in need of your help as he continues to recover. Please
Damn.
click the banner on Free Talk Live
Elaborate on that,
and enter the
please.
coupon code FTL, and we'll send you the ultimate history lesson on 4 DVDs plus a free 15-hour.
Yes, Osborne says, tell us more about how we can serve you.
For tuning in and not dropping out.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyer,
We're on a break right now.
and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to School Sucks Live. This is Brett in the studio with me tonight, Cory and Osborne. And in the last segment of the show, we had started to introduce our topic tonight. We have an election coming up, and, you know, I really want to bury the hatchet with this vendetta that I have against Bill Maher. It's gone on for years.
Is that actually what's going to happen tonight?
Well, I would really like to let go of this resentment that I've been harboring for him since Obama became president. Now, I was introduced to Bill Maher during the Bush administration. And at the time, I thought Bill Maher was great. I thought he was speaking truth to power.
Oh, yeah.
He was saying some really risky things.
All those lefties were great during that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And at the beginning of the Bush administration, I was very left-wing. So, I mean, you had Jon Stewart. At the beginning of the Bush administration, Maher did Politically Incorrect, which was a pretty good show. And even Real Time with Bill Maher, which is an HBO show, was very good.
Right. While Bush was in office.
Until Obama became president. And then it turned into like the telescreen from 1984. You know, it became like total PR for the Obama administration.
Like you would watch it and it would make you do calisthenics.
I mean, pretty much. So, you know, the sad thing is that when you consider the mainstream media as a whole, Real Time with Bill Maher is pretty much the smartest debate show, political debate show on television.
Sad to say. I think you may be right.
It's true. And what else would even come close? Are there even any other real political debate shows on television? Is the McLaughlin group still on? Could that guy still be alive? Yeah, I don't think that's on anymore. So there's nothing. I mean, nothing on Fox News, nothing on NBC. None of those even, you know.
Red Eye.
Do they debate?
Not really, no.
But Maher will bring these other, not just like right-wing people, like people who are walking, living, breathing straw men that he can just, like they used to do on Hannity and Combs, where Sean Hannity would like bring some 9/11 truther on who's wearing like a tinfoil hat and says the earth is hollow, and he'd be like, well, there's the view from the other side.
Yeah. There is, what do they call that show? The Five on Fox.
Yeah.
Where it's, who's on there? Bill Buckle, is that his name? And Juan Williams and Greg Gutfeld is on there, and Eric Bolin is the guy who kind of heads it up.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's 5 people. There's lefties and righties, and they debate.
But they're just coming from this traditional left-right, throw poop at each other, get nowhere kind of paradigm. Right. Someone in the chat says the McLaughlin group is still on, but it's terrible. McLaughlin must be very old. He was old in 1982.
He's got to be dead. It must be a different McLaughlin.
Oh, maybe his son, or his grandson, or his great grandson.
McLaughlin is like 007. And he just gets replaced with a new guy periodically.
Yeah, I like that.
Or like he gets really old and then he dies and regenerates, like Doctor Who.
Into a new McLaughlin.
Yeah. Similar, but just different enough.
But I think when you are able to do that format on television, outside of the mainstream media, where an honest conversation could take place, that he should see himself as having a responsibility. Maher, right? Now, people can say, "Oh, Brett, it's supposed to be a comedy show." Right? Now, in our analysis of the Bill Maher show, we're going to exclude 2 segments. The first thing he does is he comes out and he does like a monologue for 5 minutes, and it's like a stand-up routine. So in a stand-up routine, anything goes, right? But then he does a panel discussion, or he usually does an interview for about 10 minutes where he has some newsmaker on and they talk for 8 to 10 minutes. Then he does this panel discussion for the rest of the show. That's the part of the show that I want to analyze. At the end of the show, he does something called New Rules, where he does kind of like another sort of comedy routine.
I do find the New Rules very entertaining.
Right. But it's not something that we could analyze and say, well, I think it's unfair of us to criticize him for that, because that is more comedy than the political or, social issues discussion that they're having during the regular show.
Right.
They also do something called Overtime, which is internet only, where they continue the panel discussion for another 10 minutes. So everything that we're going to look at tonight, to be as fair as we can to Real Time with Bill Maher, is going to come from either this political, social panel discussion or the overtime portion of the show.
Okay.
We are completely excusing ad hominem attacks because it's comedy, right?
Right.
So Bill Maher needs to get a laugh every minute. So he has to, I'm sure he has like a quota of recycled Sarah Palin MILF jokes that he has to do.
It's actually mostly Chris Christie jokes now. Every time I've watched the show in the last couple of years, during the opening monologue, he always makes a fat joke about Chris Christie, which is kind of disappointing to me, frankly, because it's pretty low-hanging fruit as far as comedy goes.
Yeah.
Hey, New Jersey's governor is fat. He ate a donut.
The show is very low-hanging fruit. It's a lot of low-hanging fruit. There's not a lot of highbrow humor on it because he has the audience on his side. He's preaching to the choir. And sometimes I watch it, and I don't think my audience is stupid at all. But obviously, if they're listening to me, they like me.
Right.
And sometimes I wonder, like, what can I get away with?
Yeah.
I'm not like I'm trying to get away with things, but I screw up a lot. I talk a lot. So, the more you talk, the more mistakes you make. And when thousands of people hear you, but I don't get much criticism back, but I know I make mistakes.
Right.
So I'm sure a lot of people in our audience are smart enough to catch them and say, Brett, that's not really, you missed it. But maybe they just don't tell me about it.
It's not that important to them.
I have received a lot of constructive criticism through emails. I've received emails that were very mean. And people were angry, and
should we do
I know you've gotten emails about your German pronunciation. I know.
Yeah, I'd have to dig up the hate mail, but especially when I went after the Wisconsin teachers, got a lot of hate mail. But I think that because Maher has the audience so much on his side, he feels like the writers feel like they can get away with a lot more, right? Yeah. They know Sarah Palin joke, Michelle Bachmann joke, Marcus Bachmann joke. These are automatic laughs for the audience. And because of that, I think people would say, oh, it's just comedy, Brett. You shouldn't be trying to critically analyze it. But it's more than that, because he presents himself as a serious social and political commentator. He goes on Larry King. He goes on Piers Morgan.
Right.
He goes on O'Reilly. I mean, that's as serious as it gets in the mainstream media, you know? He
Right.
goes on Chris Matthews. The clip we played at the beginning of the show was from Chris Matthews when he announced that he was giving an Obama super PAC $1 million.
He's a serious political commentator until somebody has something to say against him.
Exactly. And the same thing with Jon Stewart. This is probably even more common with Jon Stewart when he was, you know, he went on Hardball,
Right.
saying like the public discourse has to change, right? So he's standing up as a serious, you know, commentator on what's going on in America socially, politically. When they fire back at him, he said, "Oh, I'm just a comedian."
Right.
You know, so they have that place where they can run back to that this is just entertainment. But the entire mainstream media is just entertainment. Sean
Right.
Hannity, Chris Matthews, Larry O'Donnell, they're not on television because they're smart. They're on television because they're idiots, right? And that's entertaining to people.
Right.
Or they're willing to make enough of a fool of themselves that, I mean, people go to the mainstream media for entertainment.
Right.
Right. Or, you know, this chaotic confusion as entertainment, as news. So,
yeah, there's two types of people who would watch something like, you know, like when Rush Limbaugh had a TV show. Like, two types of people watch that sort of thing. People who know he's an idiot and find that entertaining, and people who are bigger idiots than him who think he's smart.
yeah. So, my issue with Bill Maher was like, what an opportunity exists here to really have some meaningful discussions, because he has Penn Jillette on the show sometimes.
Right,
you know, he has
right,
Nick
right.
Gillespie on the show. Like, these are people who could. He had Ron Paul. Even
Yeah.
when Ron Paul was under fire, we're actually going to use that clip later in the show. When Ron Paul was so under fire after the Republican debate in 2008, where he had the nerve to suggest that maybe people should look at why other countries would be angry at the United States government.
Well, we already know why.
Well, we know why. But
They hate us for our freedom.
Oh, yeah.
They're jealous. Those fools are jealous.
Well, the government has been hard at work on that since 9/11.
They really have.
They should like us now, I think, 11 years later.
Oh, yeah.
But I really wanted to focus, to deal with Maher. I mean, I had this idea years ago when Obama became president, and to do a podcast specifically directed towards going after him. But we're only going to do it in this one show, and we'll pick that up in just a minute. This is School Sucks Live. We'll be right back.
Do you want to support good people who disobey bad laws? The Civil Disobedience Evolution.
Okay, in this segment, I'd like to go to the chat while Cory looks for. Hey, everyone! Thanks for doing all this chatting.
How about this? Are we ready for a fact or crap?
Yeah, do it.
All right.
Oh, I want to point out, somebody tuned in and they said, this is what I'm, hold on. All right, Cory, go ahead.
Okay. Fact or crap? No woman has ever won the Iditarod.
Don't dogs win that?
No, I believe they're the person actually steering the sled.
Ah,
gets the prize.
That's crap. No, wait, I'm saying that's crap that they don't give prizes to the dog.
I'm sure the dogs get something. A sausage. Or something like that. Maybe some bacon. Some bacon strips. Anyway, no woman has ever won the Iditarod. Fact or crap?
I'm going to say crap.
What do you say, Osborne?
I'll go fact.
All right, what do you say, chat people?
I don't think the chat people.
They're not into this, are they?
It's the best we can do to keep these recordings going right now. I'm thinking of better things to do.
All right. So anyway, it's crap. The first woman to win the Iditarod was Libby Riddles in 1985. Susan Butcher followed it, who won in 1986, 1987, 1988, and 1990, and she came in second in 1989. You get $50,000 each for each first-place win.
How about that?
It's held in Alaska every March when racers and their dog sleds travel about 1,100 miles from Anchorage to Nome.
How do I log into this chat? I mean, I'm looking at the chat. But how do I make it? Use
Just
my
go to
email?
School Sucks Private. Oh, I don't know.
I have an amazing solution.
Chat
for you.
options.
C-Crane's Super USB Wi-Fi Antenna 3. It can provide connectivity for up to a mile. We're using it at my house, and I can't describe it as anything but this antenna will change your life.
I think you have to go to Ustream to log in.
Company, their products are the best. I highly endorse the C-Crane.
Someone says Bill Maher has always been a borderline communist. We are going to learn that that's actually different.
The three most important things you can do for
That's
Free
not
Talk
true.
Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site.
So
2, buy the things you buy online.
All right. So when we come back, we have to introduce.
$5 a month.
What did I leave off? What was the last thing I said?
Free Talk Live's AMP program.
My memory doesn't go back that far.
Charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure
He
you
had
give
Ron
$5
Paul
a month to
on.
AMP.
We were talking about that.
I've been told no in many different ways.
Mainstream media, a bunch of clowns.
That could be any show that we did ever, actually. Golly. That is an excellent question.
All right. Does anyone remember the last thing I said in the chat? We got to get off LRN so we don't have breaks anymore.
I would love that. That would be great.
The show Wes and I did was great.
Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
About Maher being a commie, they say.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Available now, free in HD. See it now at victimlesscrimespree.com.
This is the Liberty
All right,
Radio
we're coming
Network,
back.
broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at lrn.fm.
Hey, everybody, this is Brett. Welcome back to School Sucks Live. In the studio with me tonight, Osborne and a robot.
I am a robot.
If you're watching the video, maybe you missed that.
I saw it.
So before we went to the break, we were about to introduce the fallacies that I wanted to cover tonight. And this idea to deal with Maher, kind of a last minute thing. But what I was saying before we went to the break, years ago, when I continued to watch Real Time, once Obama was president, I formulated this idea, even before School Sucks podcast. I said somebody should do a podcast called Reality Time for Bill Maher, where they just take the audio of the last show and correct it. If it takes 3 hours, it takes 3 hours, you know? But this needs to be corrected because there's a lot of people who are taking Bill Maher very serious as seriously, as a social and political commentator. And a lot of corrections need to be made. In fact, it would really be a very, very complex deconstruction because there's so many faulty premises that he's putting fallacies and more fallacies on top of. So,
yeah, he's like I said, I still occasionally do enjoy parts of his show because you know what I like about it is he'll have people on who are on different sides of the debate between the left and the right, and they each point out things that are wrong with the other side, and I agree with all of them.
That's true. They are good about that. But even in doing that, there's a lot of confusion.
Oh, yes.
You know, and that's something that Maher really makes hay with show after show after show, because there's a lot of things wrong with the right. The political right, the Republicans, the Tea Party, all those groups. So he continually uses that as if there's this false dichotomy of the way I think and the way everybody else thinks. So we're going to discuss primarily two fallacies tonight, and they are called composition and division. I'm going to define them both for you very quickly, and then we're going to actually start getting into some examples from the show. Now, when we use the show, we are going to do more than just composition and division, but that's why I really wanted to try and focus on those two fallacies. But I had to spend like 4 hours yesterday watching Real Time with Bill Maher, And there's a lot. We could have done the whole series in using Real Time with Bill Maher. But to focus on composition and division, the composition fallacy, this is a fallacy that results from reasoning from the properties of the parts of the whole to the properties of the whole itself. It is an inductive error. Such an argument might hold that because every individual part of a large tractor is lightweight, the entire machine also must be lightweight. This fallacy is similar to a hasty generalization, but it focuses on parts of a single whole rather than using too few examples to create a categorical generalization. Very common. So you take a part of something, you say these are the properties of the part, therefore these are the properties of the whole. And the opposite of the fallacy of composition is the fallacy of division. This fallacy is the reverse of composition. It is the misapplication of deductive reasoning. One fallacy of division argues falsely that what is true for the whole must be true of all the individual parts. Such an argument notes that Microtech is a company with great influence in the California legislature. Egbert Smith works at Microtech. He must have great influence in the California legislature. It is not necessarily true. Egbert might work a graveyard shift as a security guard or as a copy machine repairman at Microtech, positions requiring little interaction with the California legislature. Another fallacy of division attributes the property of the whole to the individual member of the whole. SunSurf is a company that sells environmentally safe products. Susan Jones is a worker at SunSurf. She must be an environmentally minded individual.
Right, sure. Like everyone I worked with when I worked for the phone company was deeply interested in providing phone service to people.
Yeah, you found that
everybody was so into it. Like, I think everybody I worked with when I was there had grown up their entire lives going, I want to be the lady at the phone company who answers your call. That's what everybody wanted.
What was the phone company you worked for?
Yeah, it was Vonage, the voice over
Does they still
IP
even
phone
exist?
company. Yeah, sure they do.
Okay, so those are the two fallacies that I want to stick to, composition and division, but we will cover other ones as they come up.
Okay.
Like I said, we're going to excuse ad hominems because this is, after all, a comedy show, unless they assist in another type of fallacy, unless an ad hominem is used as a point to insert laughter, where then like a red herring can take place, where the direction of a conversation is turned. But to go back to Bill Maher, I thought we could set the tone. If you're totally unfamiliar with Bill Maher, I think you should have an example of what his approach is. Maybe his intellectual integrity is on display here as well. Somebody that most listeners to this show and to LRN.FM would be familiar with is a gentleman named Ron Paul. So he has Ron Paul on during 2008. Ron Paul presents and often identifies himself as a libertarian.
Right.
Bill Maher used to do this before he knew that it was okay to just be a socialist who wants to legalize pot.
Right.
So doesn't call himself a libertarian anymore. But he has Ron Paul on. He doesn't like Ron Paul's economic ideas, obviously. And he's also a Republican candidate for president. So Bill Maher is a little bit on the attack.
Right.
He starts with a fallacy called poisoning the well. Poisoning the well is where you kind of like set the other person up to fail.
Right.
Like saying, oh, Steve, let's hear your stupid idea. Right. The well is poisoned at that point. So the way Maher does it is a little bit more subtle. He says, oh, so Dr. Paul, you are against the Civil War? You don't think we should have fought the Civil War? Which to most people who have some kind of mainstream history education, that just seems so ridiculous. Because the Civil War is what set the slaves free.
Right. That was the only reason there was a Civil War, is because slavery.
You would think. These are things that people are told.
Lincoln demanded that we put a stop to that.
He was, yes.
And we'll go to war if we have to, and we did.
So Ron Paul tries to correct some of these, some of this mythology.
Right.
Right. And he says, well, first of all, every other country, every other first world civilized country was able to get rid of slavery without killing 600,000 of their own citizens.
Right.
The cost of the Civil War could have, bought all of the slaves. The Union could have taken the money they spent on munitions and just bought all the slaves from the plantations. And Lincoln was no, principled anti-slave guy.
Right.
So this is that's the closing of Ron Paul. He goes on for about a minute, trying to educate Maher a little bit on the realities of the Civil War. He finishes by saying,
or at least trying to educate the viewing public.
Yeah, absolutely. So Maher's response to all of this, I mean, just see how interested he is in having a conversation. Maher's response, I think, is very telling.
And if you don't look at that, you're denying a very important part of our history.
All right. Not for the Civil War. What about global warming? Are you on the page that there is such a thing as global warming?
Yeah, I think it's been around for a long time, and it's probably going to be here with us for a while longer. I don't think the ozone has settled on that yet. I don't think everybody knows everything about global warming, because you have reputable scientists on both sides of that argument.
No, you don't.
Well,
no, on the other side, you only have Professor Cory and the Shell Answer Man. I mean, the reason I'm bringing this up is to say, even as someone who I consider myself somewhat of a libertarian, I think there are some jobs that are so enormous that only the government can do it. And I would put...
That means I have no idea what libertarianism is.
Right.
I'm a libertarian, but some things I just...
they're
need the
so
government
important.
Yeah.
I'm a libertarian except for all the important things.
Right.
Well, that's pretty much the story with...
for example, having a war that kills... within the confines of our own country that kills more than 500,000 people. That's something that everybody should be for.
Yeah. Well, that's defense, Cory.
Oh, right.
And as any Republican will tell you, that even though the government is bad at doing things, they should still, be tasked with doing the most important
Well,
things.
when it comes to defense, they can overcome how terrible they are at it by just pouring more money into it.
Yeah.
And pouring more bullets into foreigners.
They don't believe that, though, because they want government to shrink. So they don't really have a principled stance on that.
When they say they want government to shrink, they mean everything but defense.
Right.
They want it to shrink so that they can grow the killing people part.
My goodness. So, anyway,
wow.
That's the end of hour one. We're off to a rocky start tonight due to a series of technical difficulties here in the studio, but we promise we come back in hour two. We are going to tighten this up nicely. And we've got lots of examples from the show. We'll be back in 8 minutes.
I make no guarantees.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring...
Okay, everyone, we're going to